and welcome to the final episode in our Meridian series. Thank you for joining me throughout the series, and I hope that you found some balance. And today's session is just to integrate all of our hard work together, finding harmony, finding balance, and bringing restoration to the body. So we're going to begin in butterfly pose. So we're coming into a seat. We are drawing the fleshier parts of the buttocks behind and to the side until the two sit bones are in contact with the ground. If you feel a bit like you are slouching backwards, we can prop ourselves up on a block or a bolster or a blanket, anything that you like. Once we feel nice and steady, we don't want to feel too tall. This isn't yang, but we are thinking about bringing a little bit more ease into the hips. We don't want to have to be fighting to feel like we're tipping forwards that little bit, the anterior pelvic tilt. We draw the balls and heels of the feet together. We draw the knees wide, and we draw the hands either out in front, down by your side, in your lap, wherever you like, wherever allows you to begin to melt down and become heavy. First, through the target area, the inner hips, the lower back. The tummy softens. The forehead, the neck, the shoulders. Everything becomes heavy, rounded, grounded, melting. We are completely supported by the ground, by the pose itself. We are completely surrendered down. The more we physically surrender in Yin, the more we allow that body permission to switch off and to trust in the pose, to trust in your own awareness of your body and how it feels in the pose. For example, if it doesn't feel right, if it feels pinching or sharp or tight, if it feels painful, then we come out of the pose, we monitor, and only go deeper when it feels right for us. But for the most part, the more practiced we become in Yin, the easier it is for us to decipher between discomfort and pain, between intensity of stretch and what is simply incorrect for our body. We begin to relax and soften when we come up against intensity, not just physically, but we begin to feel more comfortable with the discomfort of silence, stillness, transitioning of energy from yang to yin, which in itself can feel like a pulling or a tugging. We can feel a resistance. Often that's in the form of mental chatter, when we're encouraging stillness by bringing the body into a lovely still pose, encouraging slow breaths, and the mind will often become active, switching on, going at double speed. This is normal. This is just us adjusting. This is our energy gently shifting, the mind resisting. At the start of our practice, we often have to consciously allow, making a decision to let go, making an effort to be present, consistently reminding ourselves to not push thoughts away, but to not pull them in either. Just observing them. The deeper we go into our practice, the more this begins to feel like second nature. the more we shift into our yin-like state, returning to ourselves, returning to a state where we are free from judgment, separate from the brain, separate from the body, just the conscious observer. It becomes easier to watch the mind wandering, to observe the body's sensations, to observe emotions and energies shifting around without judgment or attachment. When we're ready, we walk ourselves up nice and slowly. With that in mind, we are completely accepting of where we're at the start of the practice. It's normal to not feel that yin-like essence straight away. When you're feeling ready, we're going to lay on our front, elbows directly underneath the shoulders, legs out lovely and long, and we're heavy here. You may look forwards, you may look down. If you do spend a lot of time on the phone or the laptop, then you might keep your head nice and long, just being wary not to overstretch the neck. Observe mind wandering. Without responding, without rejecting, without reacting. You are free from the responsibility to have to do anything at all. When you're ready, draw your elbows back, palms underneath the shoulders, and we push ourselves all the way up, and we're coming into our dragon pose. So we're going to step the left foot forwards and come gently down into a lunge. We plant the right hand down, and the left hand is going to be sandwiched in between the left foot and the right hand. Shift your right knee back, and then when you're ready, find a heaviness. So for some, that heaviness might naturally lead to you coming down onto your forearms and elbows. For others, you might feel a natural inkling or pull to come into a twist instead, where we press the inner left palm to the inner left thigh, gently opening into a dragon twist or a twisted dragon. Wherever you are, whether you are in high flying dragon, low flying dragon, or twisted dragon, we are deeply tapping into 4 of the lower body meridians here. Actually 5, because we are twisting in our twisted dragon as well. This means that the pose itself will likely feel very intense. Often the more meridians we tap into, the more intense the pose feels. Emotionally, energetically, physically. So we just allow ourselves to be here, to be still, to be mindful of what comes up. It's normal for emotions to arise as we tap into areas within the body that we hold intense things, intense emotions, memories. It's normal for the mind to wander to all sorts of places. If you find it too difficult to be on one arm or too difficult on the wrist, you can do low flying dragon on your forearm as well. We always want to encourage as much of the body to enter into a yin-like state as we can. So even though we might start off a little bit more engaged, pushing the ground away, we melt down bit by bit, starting off with the target area. Within your mind and moving through your body, focusing on other areas that might be secretly switched on, resisting the pose, rejecting gravity. We allow them that permission to soften, to melt, seeing how deep we fall into the pose, mindfully making sure we feel okay with that depth. The shoulders and the arms, the neck and the head, the face muscles. You decide where you relax down and how deep we go. When you're feeling ready, as slowly as we can, we walk that foot back. Now, our transitions in yin are not pretty. They're not all about flow or aesthetics. It's all about how you feel. So just really slowly taking that leg back, and we're coming into our counter pose of just prune laying. This is one of my favorite counter poses because the whole body is completely elongated, creating this clear pathway for energy to flow throughout your entire being. The lower back feels lovely in this pose. The hips completely relaxed, stomach meridian might be gently stimulated here. As we breathe, there's a little bit of movement. When you're feeling ready, as slowly as you can, we're going to move on to the other side. Take your time in making your way there. Don't worry about how the pose transition looks, only focus on how it feels. When you're feeling ready, come into that lovely low lunge. Maybe we stay here, right foot framed by the right hand and left hand, or maybe, sorry, that is not correct, right hand framed by right foot and left hand, or maybe we lower ourselves down, like so. Maybe we place our right hand to the inner right thigh, like so. Pay attention to how the pose feels within your body. There is no right or wrong. We're not focused in yin on progression, on deepening. It's not about what we did last week, what we're going to do next week. All we focus on is the here and now. How does your body feel? What do you need in the present? Do you need to tap more into compassion and love, or soft love, self-love? Or do you need to tap more into that tough love, that discipline, the hard ground, gravity, the body in the pose, melting heavily? We change up our practice depending on what we need. Some days we will need blankets, we'll need bolsters, we'll need a very soft and gentle practice, restorative. Other days we need that simplicity, that discipline of just laying in stillness with the breath, allowing the breath to guide you through each present moment, no matter how it feels. Obviously, respecting the body, full of compassion, we don't want to feel any pain. But even if poses feel intense, even if they ebb and flow to that really intense sensation of stretch, we breathe through it. When we notice emotions arise that might feel intense or uncomfortable, we breathe through it. often as we deepen into our practice, the yin energy itself feels more comfortable to be in. We have less resistance to the actual stillness and silence of the practice, and often those things begin to feel more and more comfortable. We use the body as a tool. We bring the body into stillness. We allow silence. Those things allow us to gradually shift more and more into that yin-like state energetically. Whilst we do encourage stillness in yin, stillness of the muscles, and where we can, stillness of the pose, we still want to respect the body. So if the pose stops feeling right for you, we do move. We don't want to just commit to stillness regardless of how the pose begins to unfold. When you feel ready, as slowly as you can, we begin to shift the legs back and we melt forwards and down onto the tummy, coming back into your prone lying position. It's normal for your mind to wander, especially in your counter poses. We don't pay attention to mind wandering in the way that we don't become engaged or distracted by the thoughts, but we do pay attention to where the mind naturally wanders. When you're feeling ready, we are going to come into our next pose, which is our melting heart pose. So we draw the shins to the ground. We stack our hips directly above our knees. Our arms come out in front and we drop the heart towards the ground. You might rest the forehead down. We allow as much heaviness as we can through the upper body. You might even plant your chin down and look forwards, if that feels right for you. In yin, we use compression, deep stretch, to pinpoint and target and stimulate specific meridians. When we come into our counter poses, there is a surge of energy through the areas that we target, which is why our counter poses are so important. Here we're deeply targeting the heart and lung meridian, the urinary bladder meridian, the chest, the shoulders, the lower back. Each meridian is thought to relate to different emotions, different feelings, and those emotions are thought to exist on a spectrum. So here, for example, we're tapping into compassion, freedom, fear. But those emotions exist on a spectrum, so not just compassion and love, but also the opposite. Not just freedom, but also feeling trapped. Not just fear, but also trust. Also faith. When you're ready, we walk the feet forwards, we tuck the toes, and we shift into our child's pose as a counter pose. We drop the forehead to the floor. And we relax completely. So when we allow ourselves to work on these specific meridians that relate to this spectrum of emotion, we're not aiming to simply feel the most positive emotion all the time. When we're on the mat, we are free from judgment, which means we're free from positives and negatives, right or wrong, good or bad. We're not thinking this feeling doesn't feel as good, therefore it's bad, therefore it's wrong. Instead, we're just noticing specific feelings that arise, observing them, allowing them to be there, not becoming engulfed or encompassed in them, not pushing them away, just allowing it to be part of your present moment, part of your experience, processing it, breathing through it, experiencing it. When we observe without pushing away, it's less likely to come back in the same way, the same for thoughts, emotions. It's the resistance towards those things that makes them so uncomfortable, just as it is with the poses themselves. It's the resistance to the pose that creates the discomfort. As long as the pose is right for us. Bringing harmony and flow into the meridian systems simply allows us to feel the full range of emotions. It allows us balance and harmony in the middle of that spectrum. It brings more peacefulness. Oh, bless me. When you're feeling ready, we're slowly going to make our way up and come into our next pose. We're coming into our sleeping swan. We draw our left leg out in front, knee comes out towards the side and right leg extends back. Now, if this feels comfortable for you, you might stay here, you might come forwards and down, you might grab a bolster and lay on the bolster instead, like so. If this does not feel comfortable for you for whatever reason, maybe your hips are not a sleeping swan fan, you can swap it out for a sleeping deer if you prefer. You could face towards the side, you could face forwards. Do what feels right for you, and it doesn't have to be sleeping either. Sleeping is where we lay down, but we can take an upright deer, we could take a sleeping swan or an upright swan. So make this pose your own. Tap into what feels right within your body, where you would like to relax down and bring more stillness, more heaviness, more depth. Commit to stillness as long as the pose feels right for you. When we practice Yin, we slowly begin to enter into a meditative state. The body comes into stillness. The breath becomes slower. The mind slowly follows suit, becoming slower and stiller, becoming more passive, surrendering, allowing, accepting, allowing all of those yin-like essences or feelings, emotions, notions to begin to enter into your practice and enter into your present moment more and more. We release control, not just of the physical body, of the pose, but also over the present moment. We release control over how we show up on the mat, energetically. There is no right or wrong. However you've arrived is perfect. Emotionally, there is no good or bad. Whatever emotions arise to the surface is exactly what you're meant to feel in the present. We don't reject them. We don't indulge in them. We don't feed them. We just allow them to be there. Whatever thoughts arise, we allow it to be part of your present moment. You did not create the thought. Therefore, it is not good or bad. It doesn't reflect anything on who you are. You are simply the observer, the consciousness, observing yourself experiencing a thought. If you find it difficult to step away from the brain, away from the body, and into this observer state, a helpful notion can often be the idea that you are this ball of energy. Whatever you are putting out in that present moment is the type of thoughts that you attract. If you think about the thoughts in a field around you, whatever aligns with what you're putting out in that present moment is what kind of thoughts will float in towards you. Whether you believe that or not is by the by, but when we're on the mat, having a visual like that of a cloud around you of thoughts, you're just a ball of energy in a body. And whatever you're emitting is what you're attracting. Visuals can be really powerful for those who find it difficult to separate from the thoughts from the brain. When you're ready, slowly lift and gently move back with that leg. Take a moment here, breathing deeply. We're just going to spend around 20 seconds here, just allowing yourself to observe the sensations running through the front of the hips. We are coming into a counter pose properly after we've done the other side. So now we're just breathing deeply, just allowing the muscles, the joints, the ligaments to reset, the energy to flow. When we practice Yin, I'm drawing forward with that right leg when you're ready. We are not just tapping into the superficial layers of the body, so the muscles. We're going deeper into what we often call the yin tissues, the ligaments, tendons, joints, the fascia. Encouraging a depth like this in a pose will naturally bring up thoughts, emotions that we've held for a long time, things that feel deeper or more attached. Therefore, a meditative state can feel a little bit more challenging because we do have these constant heavy thoughts, heavy feelings coming up. When there is naturally an attachment, when it feels like part of who you are, part of your story, it can feel more important, more grabbing, more difficult to let go and just be present, being a soul in a body, or being awareness or consciousness. Just having that notion in the forefront of your mind that it is challenging, it is a discipline, so don't become frustrated at yourself when you notice mind wandering far away. It's very normal. As soon as we notice that it has wandered, that's your opportunity to strengthen the habit of simply becoming aware that we are not present, observing where we are, and guiding yourself back to present through the breath, through the sensations of the pose. We always have those two bridges back to present when we practice Yin. The physical sensations can often serve as a reminder, even if we're not the one to notice that we've wandered away from present. Sometimes the body will grab our attention, which is why we aim for depth. We don't shy away from our edge. We allow ourselves to fall as deeply as we can. We allow gravity to sink us down, lower and lower. We allow that intensity, never pain, never intense discomfort, but we do allow depth. We allow intensity, we allow strong, deep stretches. When you're feeling ready, as slowly as you can, we're going to make our way gently up, like so. Swivel ourselves round. We're going to draw the bolster to the lower back and gently send your legs long, and we're coming into our supported fish. Now we could send the arms back here to begin to target through the armpits, the shoulders, like so. Breathe deeply. If the arms being back does not feel right for you, draw them wide. This will target the heart a little bit more than the lungs. Both lovely, both needed, often in this day-to-day life where we are often hunched forwards. These deep chest openers can be really, really powerful. Notice how the mind feels here. It's often thought that there is a bit of a difference in where the mind wanders to, how the mind feels, the pace of the mind wandering, when we're facing upwards versus when we're facing down, when we're open versus when we're in an introspective mood or position. Pay attention, be present. Being present can often feel like a discipline. It often feels quite natural and enjoyable to be wandering away within your mind, anywhere but the present. When we see coming back to present as less of a challenge and more of a treat, it can become slightly easier. Rather than seeing it as a discipline that we're not allowed for the mind to wander, that we're not allowed to entertain thoughts, that we have to restrain from responding or reacting, and instead shift your mindset to you do that all day, and when you're on the mat is your one time where you don't have to. The mind gets a deep rest that it doesn't even really get in sleep. The mind is still active, still doing. Just as your body is resting here, your mind also deserves a rest. In the long run, this benefits its function, We improve our grey matter. We become more efficient at remembering, recalling. It brings peacefulness. It's one of the most productive things that we can do, just allowing a stillness within your mind. In the moment, it feels unproductive. Every thought that arises feels very important, as though it demands our awareness and our attention, but it doesn't. When you're on the mat, this is your quality time with yourself. A time where you get to be still. Your energy becomes calmer, more peaceful. We return to our natural state. We bring harmony into our meridian system. We bring balance into the yin-yang energies of the week. This is your time where you get to be still. Where you get to be non-doing. Where you get to exist. A soul within a body, experiencing life. Heart-opening poses are lovely for tapping into that compassion. Whilst at the start of the practice, things like that may have been a bit more of an effort, a bit more of a conscious decision to tap into compassion. When we shift into that yin-like essence within our energy, as we return more to our natural state where we're just existing and watching and observing. Your natural state is compassion. You don't need to try. We just need to stop trying. We don't need to reach for compassion towards the self. We just need to stop resisting. You don't need to change anything or be anything other than exactly as you are in the present moment. When you're feeling ready, we slowly make our way up into a seated position. We shuffle the bolster away, or a pillow, if we were using a pillow. We're going to lay down just for a very quick pose here. We tuck the tailbone under, we draw the left knee in, and we come into our gentle reclined twist here. If this feels a little bit intense, then we can prop our left knee up onto a bolster. If it doesn't feel intense enough, bend your right knee and take your right foot into your left hand. Soften down here. We're not here for too long in this pose. Allow yourself to switch off within the hips, the shoulders, the back, the head. Work out what feels right for your body in the present. In day-to-day life, you might often be going for the easiest thing or the hardest thing. We often are hardwired or programmed to always do one or the other. I'll take it gentle today, or I'll push myself as hard as I can go. But when we're in yin, we instead just think about how we feel physically. If you are one of those mindsets or habitual mindsets where we naturally just go as deep as we can straight away. Ease off. Focus on what actually feels good for your body in the present. Equally, if we are more tailored towards taking it more gentle, being super duper compassionate in the present, observe if there's anywhere where you can invite more discipline, where we can go for that 7 out of 10 intensity rather than 6 out of 10 maybe. The reason we'd like that 7 out of 10 intensity in Yin is because the sensations of the pose can help keep us present. When the mind wanders, we always have those intense, lovely, deep overall sensations of stretch to guide us back to present. And the reason I mention overall is because we don't want sensations of pinching or tightness or sharpness. It's this lovely cloaking of sensation, it's warmth all over. Might feel like fuzziness or movement or liquid. When you're ready, we go on to the other side. In the body, deep beneath the muscles, we have, or surrounding everything really, we have fascia, which looks kind of like a spider's web. When we are stiff, when we don't bring that much movement into the fascia, it can feel quite painful to take these poses initially. The more we begin to move the fascia, the more these poses feel enjoyable. So when we're very new to Yin, the intensity can feel much, much more, not just physically, but also we're releasing things that we may have held our whole lives. Whereas when we're practicing Yin week on week on week, we're often releasing as we go, catching and releasing throughout the week. So be very kind to yourself, be very gentle on yourself if you're finding it super hard. It looks on the outside very relaxing, but the reality of Yin is very challenging. Moment to moment is a real strong discipline. So don't worry if you're finding it difficult to physically relax or emotionally relax or mentally, energetically. However you're finding it difficult, that's fine, that's normal, and it will get easier. Lovely twist pose allows us to target meridians relating to letting go and releasing. When you're feeling ready, as slowly as we can, make our way up, and we're coming into our final pose. So we draw our right leg forwards, and our left leg comes all the way up and over. If this feels super duper intense on the knee, you could prop a little blanket rolled up underneath your knee. If it feels like you're slouching back, we can prop a blanket, bolster or block underneath the sit bones. If it doesn't feel intense enough, you can absolutely draw that right leg into a deep bend. The aim in this pose, our shoelace, is to have our knees roughly stacked if we can. However, if we look a bit more like this today, that is absolutely fine. We'd like the soles of the feet shining as far back as we feel comfortable with, and we have this energy of the leg being scooped up and round and back. So this can help with the hip placement. It's likely that you'll feel very stiff and intense here, so just allow yourself time to ease into this one. As it is our last pose of the last practice of the series, If you want to make it a bit more restorative, you may grab a bolster to forward fold onto, maybe prop it up and rest your head down. Maybe we use a bolster and blanket if you like. You could wrap this round, although there is a heat wave in the UK at the moment, so you might not. Do what feels right for you. In this pose, we are targeting 5 of the lower body meridians if we are forward folding. We're targeting the urinary bladder meridian, the stomach and spleen meridian, the kidney and liver meridians. So just breathe through the intensity as it inevitably arises. It's normal for your mind to wander. This pose can take you to some very intense, reflective places, really draw you inwards. Not only are we releasing tension from the lower back and from the hips, where we hold a lot of fear, a lot of emotion, a lot of attachment. If we are forward folded and the shoulders are targeted too, then it's a lot of stress we're releasing from the body. But we're also in that introspective position where the mind can become a little bit more reflective. It can send us a little bit more inwards. This combination can be intense, so just make sure you're breathing, make sure you're full, your belly is ballooning, and drawing back in. The breaths are complete. You're being kind and disciplined in equal measure, aiming for that 7 out of 10 intensity. Not shying away from the sensations of stretch, but not pushing yourself past your point of comfort. When you're feeling ready, we're going to swap onto our other side, drawing your right leg up and over. And if it feels right for you, the left leg comes under, or we stay in half shoelace. Listen to your body. Don't expect both sides of your body to be completely equal. One might feel super intense, whilst the other feels very easy or gentle. We soften down when you're ready. We might walk the hands forwards. We might completely melt forwards and down. You might grab a bolster, blocks, blankets, whatever you need to make your pose your own. We soften physically, target areas first, releasing away resistance to allow the pose to feel more enjoyable, to allow moment to moment to feel more present. We allow our breath to be slow, nourishing the parts of the body that we are tapping into. Often we think we are completely melted down, but there might be a small part of the body that feels the sensation of stretch super intensely. And whenever this happens, I do find that when I mentally map all the muscles of the target area, there often are some very small muscles switched on, maybe the opposite hip, maybe the foot, maybe areas surrounding the knee. If you are completely melted down and it still feels super intense, like more than comfortable, just shift your pose. We're not pushing ourselves past our point of comfort. We're not shying away from our edge either. We find our edge and meet ourselves there. We breathe through the intensities that arise within the physical, mental, and emotional bodies. When you're feeling ready, we're coming into our Savasana. Again, you might use a blanket if you would like your pose to feel super restorative. You might use a bolster underneath your legs if you would like. If it's bedtime where you are, you might send your legs up the wall. Listen to your body. Make it your own. And relax down. Savasana is the ultimate counter pose. At the end of the practice, where we just bring all of our hard work together. All of the poses where we have been compressing, stressing, deeply stretching, encouraging movement and stimulation throughout specific meridians. There is a surge of energy throughout the entire meridian system. Prana or life force coursing through your body. I'm so sorry. Bless me. It's thought that in life we need this equal balance between yin and yang to feel harmony, to feel balanced. So if you are always on the go, always trying to move forwards, always trying to change, always chasing, sometimes a simple yin practice can just change your life. Just dropping back. The art of allowing, when combined with your day-to-day, is all you need to invite balance, to invite magic, to invite the universal energy, life force, chi, prana, the energy of well-being, everything that you've been trying for. When we relax and sit back, when we allow ourselves to rest, it's when it can finally flow to us. Allow yourself this time to just exist, to be still, to be heavy. Gravity lowers you down, Your body is completely held. When you're feeling ready, slowly slide your legs into a nice deep bend. We roll onto one side and make our way up to a seated position. Draw your hands into Anjali Mudra. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today and throughout this whole series. And we will be filming a few more series, so just drop any requests below. We already have a few, so we will be working on those over the next few months. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope you have a lovely day. And if you are in the UK, I hope you stay cool. See you.